just wanna dance for the hell of it, hell of it. Wanna take a chance for the thrill of it, thrill of it. Wanna raise my hands 'cause I'm feeling it, feeling it. Are you feeling this? Are you feeling this? Oh, you only got one life, so make it feel like sunshine.
Welcome to another episode of St. Augustine Hometown Gems. Today I have with me Sean Griswold, and this is a busy guy. He is the vice president of the Pharaohs Club.
Car Club of St.
Pharaohs
John's,
Car
Florida.
Club.
So we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We use our car shows and our car hobby to raise money for Canines for Warriors. And so far we've been greatly successful. Coming
Awesome.
up 5 years.
So you just had an event, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that one.
So on March 7th, we had our annual car show at the Creek. It was a great success. We had over 1,000 spectators, 200 plus cars, and we raised $7,000 for Canines for Warriors.
And so what does the canine intern do with that?
Yes. So when we go and fundraise, it comes in different packages, but each dollar goes into helping a veteran with PTSD that's suffering from PTSD. On average, about 20 veterans will commit suicide as a result of their condition. And this is part of the effort to combat that.
That really speaks to me personally. Appreciate that.
It's a great organization.
So many paths available to young people today, and I mention your young age because I truly amazed by how much you're doing at
Thank
your
you.
age.
Thank you.
And what was a specific moment that or event that made you realize you wanted to be an advocate for the community?
Absolutely. So I always grew up with an interest in politics. My dad and I always talked politics, and that's how you begin to get involved in your community. You see what's going on, what your elected officials are doing and such. And then that began into my car hobby, and everything eventually connects, right? I'm sure with your business that
It does,
everything
yes.
eventually connects to one another, and it comes full circle. And so part of the way that you go and manage a busy schedule is you make it run full circle, right? You attach everything to some extent. So when you're doing a piece here, you're also helping another on the other end of it. So that was a big piece. Then my dad led a fight against a developer that was trying to put a road right behind our house. That got me further involved, and I learned more about, okay, how does the development happen? What's good development? What's bad development? Smart development versus just putting concrete everywhere.
Right.
And that's how I got involved to a higher level.
And that would lead me to ask you, an expert on CDD, right? And is that something you're actually working in or plan on, a career out of?
So I've worked in the industry for 3 years. I worked for 2 of the largest companies in Florida that run amenity centers and CDDs. And so great, for me, it's been an entry-level job where I can go and get involved, see the local governance taking place, the transparency that must happen, and learn as a result going forward on what I want to do.
Can you give a short explanation of how a CDD works?
Absolutely. So it's a local government. It will go in, instead of being on the county level, it will be down on the, let's say, a neighborhood, right? And some of them expand past a neighborhood, but most of them are restricted to a specific neighborhood. You have Johns Creek, let's make up a neighborhood, and they will have their CDD. You'll have a board that is consisting of the residents inside. Those residents can go, and once the developer hands it over to being a resident-ran board, those residents can go and vote on who they want to run. And it's like any other political office, just that your actual governance area is smaller. But you get that 15-foot view instead of being so far disconnected that you don't get anything done in the local community. It raises funds, helps maintain and build these different amenity centers and parks and such.
Would you say to a homeowner?
It's each their own, right? You have those that they want the HOA to protect their home values, right? They want the CDD because it typically comes with an amenity center with higher quality roads, that sort of thing. And you don't have to get the county involved for everything, right? So there's a benefit, and then there's also the downside that it does come with a higher cost, right? You have to pay your CDD fees in many cases. You get a group that's there every day, typically in your amenity center, employed by the CDD to go and run the center, to go and run the maintenance operations of the neighborhood, and that will help you along the way if that's something that you want. But you got to want to have that extra level of security in your home value.
I've been asked as a real estate agent, can I pay the CDD off when I purchase the house?
Yes. Yeah, depends. So sometimes you'll have it. They typically are like the 30-year stretches, right? That it's not the individual homeowner that is necessarily paying it long term. It's the entire community, but it's broken down into homeowner. So these boards have to pay for all that development, and that's where that money comes from.
What's the biggest challenge or biggest opportunity with CDD?
Absolutely. So there's many of both, for sure. The biggest challenge right now for a CDD, in speaking in generalities, is that you have rising costs for pretty much everything, right? You have the cost inflating for whether it's your maintenance crew, the pool repairs, your events, any item that you have to buy, your decorations or at the MA center, all those costs are going up, right? But your CDD fee staying the same in many cases. So unless they go and boost that up, or they refinance the actual loan and they can drop down how much they have to pay, you're in a position where you have a widening gap between the two.
What's the biggest opportunity you have with a CDD?
So on the flip side, there are some good opportunities. You have this small local government, right, that can go and have that 15-foot view instead of that 15,000-foot view, where someone on the county wouldn't necessarily get the chance to see what's going on in your local community, because it takes time. You have to drive out there, and then they're just relying on people saying, hey, there's an issue, right? And sometimes people don't speak up, right? Or they don't know who to speak up to. And so the biggest opportunity is that not only do you have someone that's right there, that's living in your community, that's already involved, but they have the tools to go and correct based upon that. So you have the ability for them to go and modernize the infrastructure, right? They can go do LED lighting, whatever it may be, as long as it's cost efficient. Those changes now will go and help save your cost in the future.
So it's definitely advantageous to have a CDD.
Yeah, it definitely has its ups
and downs, just like an HOA would.
Yeah, well, and most places that have a CDD also have the HOA. So it's hard to get one without the other.
Anything else you want to add about CDDs that the public might not know?
So if you want to get involved in a CDD, you go into a neighborhood, you want to get involved, go ahead, find when those meetings are. They're all going to be public, right? There's typically a streaming or a recording of it. And going further than that, if you can't find that recording, they have to publish their meeting minutes. So go find those meeting minutes, figure out what they're talking about, get involved before a decision happens that you're not okay with. You can't complain if you're not there to change it in the first place.
Just like if you don't vote, you don't get to complain.
Exactly. That's my attitude.
So let's talk more about the Pharaohs Club and the structure of it.
Yes, absolutely. So we are a 501c3, like I was telling you earlier. And so because of that, we also have our military ranked club. So I am the general of the Pharaohs. Meanwhile, I'm also the vice president of operations for the nonprofit as I'm transitioning to president. And so in the meantime, what does that mean for me? It means that I am overseeing all the operations. I'm going and making sure that all of our events have high attendance, that they're successful fundraisers. We're getting the club active. We just had a club dinner last night. We had 45 people out at a Nijo in County Road 210, and we had a great time. We hung out. We had this family feeling, all of us around a table, just hanging out, talking cars, talking life. How are the kids doing? And what it does, it creates a community past just the car hobby. And that was something that we were talking about before, is where does this go from its initial roots, right? And we were founded in 1948 in Modesto, California. That was our first chapter. And so this history goes all the way now till 2026, and we have the St. Johns County chapter. And we go and continue to honor our roots. Veteran founded, right? World War II veterans, Korean War veterans. They came back, they wanted to get involved in the car scene. They had their hot rod, and they created the first car club, right? And it's still around today. There's chapters internationally and all across the United States. And so we are one of the largest chapters and definitely donating the most. We want to make sure that we're maximizing every dollar and making sure that what we're doing is going for our community, our club, right? And that's what comes first always.
So how many cars do you typically have at any event?
So it's been going up dramatically. Our events, we're having fantastic attendance. I really cannot complain whatsoever. Every single event since I took over in May of 2025 has been our largest event. So it's hard for me to give you an exact number, but I'll tell you, we went from 130 cars at our May event last year. Then we had 150 in August. Then we had 170 in November. And then we had 170 when it was 30 degrees out in January, right?
Wow.
Our March 7th car show had 206 registered cars. And we have an event at the end of the month on May 30th. Y'all should come on out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great event. We're going to be promoting our charity, our club again. We're actually going to be giving Canines for Warriors a ceremonial check of $20,000.
Wow.
So come on out.
That
We'd
is
love to
huge.
have you there to watch and to enjoy this great event. We're going to bring the whole community together to celebrate not only the classic cars and the cars that our parents drove and that our grandparents drove, but also the cars of the next generation, because someone's going to have to keep them up, right?
Definitely.
They can't just sit in a museum or in a field. They have to be kept up. And then doing it for even a greater cause, which is Canines for Warriors.
Exactly. You're not just all getting together to look at your cars. It's for a reason.
Exactly. And that's what's unique about Pharaohs is we have not only the car club, and we all like to get together and hang out, and then we also do our events, but then it's that greater cause. So you have something for everybody. There's a lot of people that when I go and meet them at a car show, they're, well, I'm not sure if I'm really into the car club thing. You know, it seems like a commitment. I tell them, look, this isn't a commitment where you have to be there, mandatory attendance every Saturday. I'll take you when I can get you, but let's support the same charity and do it under a group cause.
So, real quick, what's your dream car or your favorite car?
If I had to go down, let's say A1A right now, I have a lot of dream cars. So it's hard for me to box myself into one, because I know eventually I'll go and I'll be like, maybe I'll get something. But it would be a Mercedes Gullwing.
Okay.
So they made them 50s, early 60s, beautiful cars. That's a money, no object vehicle, though. I'll have to make a lot of money to do that.
You're headed there, I'm sure of it.
I hope.
Now, I have to say, my husband's favorite car, and he's gonna, you know, I hope this, but it's the Judge, the General.
Yes, GTO Judge.
Yeah,
yes,
like
absolutely.
if he could any car, I would say it would be that, or a Chevelle.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
my dad
like
had a Chevelle,
I don't want to say the year because I'd probably be wrong.
Exactly. He'll
but,
be looking at this later and goes, oh, it wasn't correct at all. It wasn't even close.
Awesome. So what's your best advice for a young person who has a great idea but doesn't know how to get started?
Well, and that is a major issue, right? You have so many people that don't know what they want to do. Once they graduate college, or even going into college, know what they want to study. And especially with vocational schools being promoted to a higher level, there's an increased pressure to say, hey, I know what I want to do going out of high school, right? So how do you place yourself best to figure out what you want to do? You put yourself out there. You go and figure out, okay, there's these different opportunities in my local community. There's these different types of jobs. How can I go and get involved, right? You go and shadow the right person. You go and network. You meet the right person. And you sit there and you learn from them, right? You would tell me a lot more about being a realtor than I'd ever know, right? But then if I were to go and start talking about cars, then there would be a difference in knowledge, right? And it's our job, if you want to have a lifelong of learning, which is required to be a professional, you have to be able to sit down and have a respectful conversation and listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
Love it, yes.
And so don't waste a day. Put yourself out there. Say yes to these opportunities and go and figure out which one in the long run do you want to continue with.
Like volunteering and philanthropy. And what I try to tell my 2 seniors that they're just about to graduate in the same kind of situation where they kind of know what they do, but they don't. I said, go volunteer.
Yeah, exactly.
Start there. And then
meet people.
You meet people, exactly.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be something that you want to do long term, right? So I know I don't have a career in running the Pharaohs, right? It's side in mind. It's for a good cause. I learn valuable skills. And I'll tell you, when I look at these different careers that I want, I'm studying business administration and aviation management. You would never think that has anything to do with the car club. But there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, right? It's all the paperwork. It's all the financial management. It's all the connections and networking and managing membership dues and all the documents, our newsletter. You learn a lot of different life skills and valuable lessons going and leading an organization and putting yourself out there. And that's the biggest thing. There's so many people that I meet, especially with this car club. A lot of these people are much older than I am, right? I'm 19. We have a lot of people that are in their 60s or 70s and their 80s. And every single time I see them, there's a common consensus, and it's, I wish I did when I was your age. Well, and that's time that you're never going to get back, right? So you got to make the most of every single day, or else you're going to be 50 years down the line thinking, wow, I wish I took up that opportunity. I wish I found out what would happen. Because it's stereotypical, right? It's the constant, oh, the worst thing that they can say is no. There is value to that where it's not only the worst they can say is no, but the only thing that can happen is either fails or it succeeds, right?
Right.
And failure is another step towards success.
I agree, yeah.
You got to learn those, and sometimes it takes losing to learn it.
Exactly. And you have to learn how to take rejection or no
Exactly.
for an answer, because it's not always personal. Just it could be any reason.
Exactly,
But
yes.
it helps you learn, and I agree.
Absolutely. Well, and when it comes to just the idea of being rejected, so many people are afraid of it, right? Whether it's talking to a girl or asking for a raise or whatever it may be, right? There's so many different places where you may be rejected that you can't run away from it for your entire life.
No.
So you just got to face it head on. And if you get rejected, you say, okay, was it something that I did? Was it something that they did? Is it something that we just didn't meet, right? There's
helps you grow. And
exactly. Well, and there's, for example, just got done with my macroeconomics class, right? And there's 3 different types of employment, and one of them is where it's structural unemployment, where and the employer just don't match, right? And you have to get new skills. You have to learn more in order to match, or you go and find a different career, right? And it's just part of the reality. If I were to go into be a nurse tomorrow, I couldn't do tomorrow without learning the necessary skills.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it just takes time and the willingness to learn.
I hope you enjoyed talking with Sean as much as I did. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep digging for those gems.